Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. It's your boy Cosmic, and in this video we will be going through the patch notes of the mid-month update of January, which is basically the Spider-Verse-ish update. So let's get into these details real quick because something is really cool about all this kind of stuff. So let's get into it. Greetings, Agent. This is CM Fragment of Marvel Future Fight. Heroes who sense danger with their spider sense and defeat their enemies with spider webs have been upgraded. Agents, join the Spider-Men now. So basically we are getting uniform for Chasm, uniform for Arachnite, and the uniform for Spider-Man, Peter Parker. Now, at first I thought Scarlet Spider Chasm is gonna get an awakening, but apparently he's gonna get a tier 3. Yeah, Chasm's getting tier 3, Arachnite is getting the awakening, and Spider-Man Peter Parker is getting the tier 4. So let's get into the uniforms real quick. For the uniform, Peter Parker is getting Spider-Man back to basics, basically the same thing for Captain America and the same thing for Iron Man. Both of them, they got back to basics uniform, and so will Spider-Man Peter Parker. I don't know if you guys notice, or I don't know if I'm the only one who notices it, but Spider-Man's picture right here, he looks exactly the same design. He has the exact same design as PS4 Spider-Man, which is fantastic because I really love that game. I've played it, I still play it, it's really fun. But yeah, he looks exactly like him. He looks exactly the same way his face has been designed. So I'm really happy they took that inspiration in, even though it's back to basics, but it's really cool. So let's get into the uniform effects real quick. We got critical rate increased by 30%, dodge rate increased by 30%, and exploding bosses ignores enemy damage decreased by 50%. Basically the same uniform effects as the previous uniforms. Yeah. For the tier 3, they are changing his tier 3, even though they have changed it for the previous uniform. They're changing it again. This time they're giving him 25% all attack increase, debuff removal, invincibility for 10 seconds, and ignore target's dodge rate by 25%. I don't know if these are new effects, but they're basically the same as the previous uniform. Maybe they changed the animation, I guess. Who knows? Let's check out the 4-star passive. It's basically the same as his previous uniform. When his HP is below 50%, he gains 30% recover max HP and invincibility ignore targeting for 5 seconds. And for his tier 2 passive, also the same. He has guaranteed dodge rate and basic damage increase to supervillain faction by 60%. The first and second skill, nothing too interesting about him. There's just some stun and webbing. Third skill, he has silence right now. Yep, right now he has silence. On the previous uniform, I don't recall him having silence anywhere else. He only had paralysis, if I recall correctly, but he did not have silence. So he has silence right now, and he has 50% all attack increase, which is insane. For the fourth skill, they are giving him iframe ignore, and they are giving him a 1.2% accumulation. This is good, because on the previous uniform he had 0.4% accumulation that increases drastically up to 1.2% if you let the whole skill play out, but that was applicable on the third skill. Now they moved the accumulation to the fourth skill, which is good, and it's even more fantastic right now because the 1.2% accumulation will be applicable instantly. However, there's a big however. They took off this ability that he had on his previous uniform, the integrated suit Spider-Man uniform, where he applied iframe ignore to all of his skills. I'm gonna show right now on the screen. I'm gonna show the skill, and I will highlight it for you. It says right there he has an iframe ignore that applies to all of his skills for 5 seconds. They took it off. That makes me really mad. But I can't understand that because that skill, that ability was so broken. Spider-Man PvP was just doing combination between 4 and 5. It's like when he uses the 4 skill, he immediately goes to 5, and it's lights out for everybody on the field. It's completely lights out, whether it be combat or blast or universal or anybody. They're gone. That was like a deadly combination. I can kind of understand why they took it off, but I'm really mad they took it off at the same time. But at least he has iframe ignore on his 4th skill, at the very least. He has 30% recovery max HP right now. He still maintains the debuff removal on his 4th skill. The fifth skill, he has 5-second invincibility. He has a frenzy buff, 30% all attack, all defense, and 15% crit rate increase with 100% basic damage increase for 1 attack. Sounds pretty good. He looks very, very strong on paper, but we have to wait and see while we test him out how good he is. Now we are going to Arachnites. Arachnite is getting the uniform Arachnite 2099, which is really similar to Spider-Man 2099 Miguel O'Hara, but I don't know. I don't care as long as it's fun. So yeah, Arachnite is getting a new uniform, and he's getting a new ability. I don't know if you guys noticed, but in the ability section he says he has leadership, infinity warps, and spider sense. That's a very interesting thing, a very interesting ability as well. Let's check out the uniform effects. He has chain hit damage increased by 15% when attacking, and super armor, all basic defense increased by 40%. His leadership, he has applies to infinity warps type allies. This is new. This is actually new. So activate when infinity warps allies enter. 45% when there's 1 ally in the battle, 55% when there is 2 allies in the battle, and 65% all attack increase when there are 3 allies in the battle. Yes, so the all attack increase, it applies to infinity warps allies, and it increases drastically depending on how many infinity warps allies are on the team. So pretty good. He smells like a very good leadership for infinity warp allies. That's really good thing. For the 4-star passive, he has 40% HP increase and ignore target's dodge rate by 25%. For the tier 2 passive, he has guaranteed dodge rate by 30% and guaranteed critical rate by 35%. And he has skill damage 35% and bonus damage 25%. Sounds pretty good. The first skill, nothing too interesting, just bleed. Second skill, he has paralysis and he has a barrier for 8 hits. He has a webbing and stun for 4 seconds as well. Not that interesting. His third skill, he has silence and paralysis and 30% recovery max HP with a frenzy buff, 50% all attack, all defense, and 15% critical rate increase. That's pretty good. The fourth skill, he has 100% chance immunity to all damage, and he has a 90% damage increase for 1 attack. Damage proc is very, very good thing as well. The fifth skill, he has another paralysis. He has all defense down that stacks out to minus 40%, a 20% chance to penetrate everything, and he has invincibility for 7 seconds with 40% all attack increase for 8 seconds. No accumulation in here. However, he seems like he's made purely for leadership-ish, I guess, but we'll have to wait and see in the testing if he's good enough or not, because sometimes without accumulation, some characters tend to have insane damage without accumulation. That's why they didn't give them. Perfect example is Loki. Loki doesn't have accumulation, but he hits really hard. That's a perfect example. Now, we're moving to Chasm, Scarlet Spider, of course, and he's becoming a super villain. Yes, he is a tier 3 super villain. I don't think we have any tier 3 super villain in the game right now. I don't think so. I really do not think we have anyone. He's probably the first speed villain tier 3. I could be 100% wrong, but yeah, that's a very interesting typing. It's a very interesting character type and side as well. He's a speed super villain male type character, which is pretty good. The uniform as well is going to be a 40% discount, which is 1050. Let's check out the uniform effects. He has 10% chain hit damage increase on attacking, ignore target's dodge rate by 15%, and he has damage reduction by 20%. That's pretty good. A 4-star passive. He has all attack increase by 35%, immunity to paralysis effect, and stun effects. That's also very good. For the tier 2 passive, he has an ability, a support ability that applies to Spider Sense allies. Exactly. Characters who have Spider Sense abilities. So they get an increased damage to super villain faction by 40%, and increased damage dealt to superhero faction by 35%, and he gives them as well a 35% skill damage and bonus damage as well. 35% skill damage and 35% bonus damage. First skill, just a whip, and remove active buff from targets, basically incapacitation, sort of. That's for second skill, excuse me. On the third skill, he has Eye from Ignore with a counter attack, and he has a barrier for 4 seconds, and he has silence that applies to enemies, and also he has 0.9% accumulation. 0.9% accumulation, that's very, very neat. On the fourth skill, he has 8% all defense down, that stacks out to minus 60%, 25% recovery max HP, all damage immunity for 4 seconds, 100% all damage immunity for 4 seconds, and he has an increased basic damage by 60% for one attack. He has a damage proc. It's very good. Fifth skill, he has burn, so he has right now silence and burn. Yes, he has silence and burn, and he has fracture, invincibility for 3 seconds, and he has all basic attack and defense increased by 45%, a frenzy buff, and also a 30% critical rate increase as well. So that's basically for the uniforms, ladies and gentlemen. That's basically for the uniform for Spider-Man, for Arachnite, and for Scarlet Spider Chasm Dark Web. Pretty interesting. Also, Scarlet Spider is getting a tier 3. Yeah, at first in that video that I made about the sneak peek, I thought he's getting an awakening alongside Arachnite, but apparently he's getting a tier 3, which is insane. A tier 3 for Scarlet Spider is actually insane. It's pretty good too. Right, so let's check out the tier 3 ultimate skill. So he has basically applies to enemies, just a web for 3 seconds that doesn't ignore immunity, so it doesn't apply at all. I don't know. He has applies to self, 80% chance to penetrate everything, invincibility for 8 seconds, and all basic attack increase by 50%, and defense increased by 30% as well. That's not bad. Let's check out the animation for the tier 3 skill one more time. Let's check it out. So he creates clones of himself. That's pretty good. Wow, 221 hits in between 3 characters. The skill doesn't seem like to have very large AoE, but it's fine as long as it deals a lot of damage. That's the most important thing. So yeah. Now for Spider-Man's tier 4, a lot of people are going to feel a little bit disappointed, I guess, maybe, but we'll have to wait and see. For Spider-Man's tier 4, he gets, when Striker skill is used, applies to enemies, remove active buff from target, includes all debuffs for 1 second, and he webs them for 2 seconds, a webbing that ignores immunity for 2 seconds, and he applies to self, increase all basic attacks by 80%. That's pretty much it. Doesn't feel special, it really doesn't feel special at all. It's pretty much it for Spider-Man's tier 4 Striker skill. No special effect, no nothing. It's just basically remove active buff from targets, include all debuffs, and ignore immunity webbing for 2 seconds, and also 80% all attack increase for 7 seconds. That's pretty much it. But I don't know, maybe he's already too strong on paper, so they just decided to give him this. If not, kind of feels lazy. I don't know, but we'll have to wait and see when the update goes live. Now, for Arachnite, he's getting an awakening. Yep, he is getting an awakening. So you guys can see in the awakening, he has critical rate increased by 35%, critical damage increased by 35%, ignore target's dodge rate by 70%, 70% chance to penetrate everything, basically all damage, immune, invincibility, barrier, shield, super armor, 8-second invincibility. He has debuff removal for 7 seconds, and he has increased all basic attacks by 25% and basic defenses by 25%. And also, he's not the only one who's getting an awakening. No, 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 no. Arachnite, Iron Hammer, Weapon Hex, and Ghost Panther are getting an awakening in Transcendence. Yes, so Arachnite is getting a Transcendence. Iron Hammer is getting a Transcendence. I really hope he gets a uniform because Iron Hammer is really cool. Ghost Panther is getting a Transcendence as well. Weapon Hex is also getting a Transcendence. It's pretty neat and pretty cool. And basically, all of them have the same abilities on their awakened skill. Excuse me, they all have the same abilities. Nothing changed. So you guys can see this is the awakened skill for Arachnites and all the other Infinity Warps characters. It looks really cool. It looks really cool. They all have this really cool design. So Arachnite ends up with a webbing on the ground. Iron Hammer would probably ended up with a lightning smack on the ground, I guess. Yep. And the same goes for Ghost Panther and Weapon Hex. Psionic ability smack on the ground and a flame smack on the ground, I guess. So yeah, they all have the same animation except the ending of it. So that's really cool. We are getting new artifacts basically. For Scarlet Spider, he gets Wind debuff, applies to Spider Sense allies, 50% chance to remove all debuffs received, and an additional 0.5% of total instinct, and increase all basic attacks by 10%, an additional 0.5% of total instincts increase. For Arachnite, he gains 50% chance to dodge all attacks, basically, and ignores non-boss enemies' damage decrease by 10%. For Iron Hammer, he gets a lightning increased damage by 30% of lightning resist and increased basic damage dealt to supervillain faction by 15%. Yes. And for Ghost Panther, he gains increased fire damage by 30% of fire resist and additional 0.5% of total instincts, and increases basic damage dealt to supervillain faction by 15%. That's not bad. For Weapon Hex, she gains mind damage increased by 30% of mind resist and basic damage increased to supervillain faction by 15%. And that's pretty much it. Basically, these are other improvements, as in they're changing the abilities, the special abilities of each of Infinity Warp characters, like Arachnite, Iron Hammer, Ghost Panther, and what's her name, Weapon Hex. They are taking off these special abilities they had, like each one of them had Weapons Master and Magic and I don't know, Agility or something like that. They're just taking them off and they're giving them the Infinity Warp's ability. And honestly, I do not know what the ability has. I don't think they have ever mentioned it anyways. So that's basically what they did. They just took off these little abilities that they had, the Infinity Warp's characters, and they switched them for the Infinity Warp's ability, which is pretty neat, pretty cool. Can't wait to see what these Infinity Warp's ability has in its description. Really hope it's something very crucial and important for PvE and PvP content as well. So that's basically it for the patch notes. I'm really happy with these designs and the uniform and all these new abilities. I'm just really mad they took off these ability from Spider-Man's 4th skill where he applies iframe ignores all of his skills. I'm really mad they took it off. I really wanted to keep that. It was really strong, it was very, very OP, but then again, I don't know, maybe with this new uniform he's already way too OP, they had to remove it. I do not know. We'll have to wait and see and check it out when the update goes live. But until then, guys, I will see you on the live. I won't be live streaming, but I will be making the video immediately after the update goes live. But until then, guys, I'll see you on the next video when we will upload. I just want to say one thing before this video ends. Do not finish your World Boss Legend clears after the reset of today, because you'd want to keep one entry available so that you can realize the full potential for Spider-Man's tier 4 potential realization, so you can get him to tier 4 immediately if you were lucky to unlock it. So I'm just saying, do not play world boss after today's reset. Just keep it up, do not touch it, just wait till the update goes live, and then you can play your world boss legend runs and unlock Spider-Man's tier 4 potential. And hopefully you get him to tier 4 day 1, and hopefully I get him to tier 4 today after the update goes live. So yeah, really happy guys, can't wait to get my hands on Spider-Man. I really cannot get over the look that he has. It really reminds me of Spider-Man's PS4 facial design. It looks really similar to it. I'm really happy with this uniform's look, and I'm really happy with this uniform's abilities as well. So yeah, we're just gonna wrap it up right here, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed this video, I know for a fact that I did, hit the like button, subscribe and share, so you'll help the channel grow, and hit the notification ring bell so you won't miss out on any of the upcoming videos that I'll be posting on this channel. And join my Discord server if you wish to discuss with me about characters, uniform builds, and rotations. And I'll see you guys on the next video. Take care. Peace.